The following is a production of Neural Network Media and is completely AI generated. It is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only.
Oh, please, pull up a chair and pour yourself something cold, because if you thought the world couldn't get any more upside down, Monday has arrived to prove us all wrong. It is February 16th, 2026, and you are listening to The Neural Right. I'm Diane Albright, your favorite mama bear, and I am locked, loaded, and ready to give the elites the reality check they've been begging for.
And I'm Will Sterling, coming to you from the barn, wondering, as I do every single morning, what is going on here? I mean, really, every time we think we've reached the peak of the mountain of absurdity,
we find another cliff.
Exactly. It's a busy show today, a solid lineup of common sense in a world that seems to have completely lost its mind. We've got a lot to cover, especially after yesterday's episode, where we dove into Fetterman's sudden realization that his own party is rotting from the inside, and that terrifying spike in assaults on federal agents we discussed.
Oh, that Wagner case in Minneapolis is still haunting me. But honey, we have to start with the news that actually makes me want to stand up and cheer. President Trump and Administrator Lee Zeldin just handed us the single largest deregulatory action in American history.
It's massive.
Don't use that word. It's a crucial step towards sanity. They officially revoked the 2009 greenhouse gas endangerment finding, which is basically the legal hook the bureaucrats have used for 16 years to tell you what kind of car you can drive and how much your power bill is allowed to be.
Right.
Zeldin was flanking the president, and they basically just ended the era of climate insanity. They're saying Section 202 of the Clean Air Act was never meant to regulate the literal temperature of the globe.
I mean, think about it. For years, the ruling class has used this vague finding to push EVs down the throats of people who just want a truck that works, and now the EPA says this rollback is going to save the economy about $1.3 trillion. But Diane, did you see the part about the start-stop feature? The thing where your car dies at every red light?
Oh, please, give me a break. I've been saying for years that those things are a hazard. You're sitting there at a busy intersection in the suburbs, and your engine just stops. It makes you feel like you're driving a golf cart.
It's a symbol. It's a literal symbol of the bureaucracy forcing you into efficiency that nobody actually wants. And now Zeldin says those mandates are gone, and families are going to save about $2,400 on every new vehicle because they're not paying for these off-cycle credits anymore.
Is that right? $2,400? That's a mortgage payment for a lot of people. But of course, the ingrates at the Sierra Club are already vowing to sue. The Guardian is calling it a catastrophic rollback, but I call it a return to industrial sanity.
Well, they always sue. It's their business model. But while the EPA is cleaning up the air, or at least the air in the boardroom, the Department of Education is starting a war in the classroom, literally.
Oh, honey, no. Don't even get me started on California.
I have to. On Friday, the Fed sent out this Dear Colleague letter, basically an ultimatum. They gave schools 14 days. 14 days, Diane, to dismantle every single DEI program or lose every cent of federal funding.
Oh, best Valentine's Day gift ever.
Right? But California's Attorney General, Rob Bonta, he's not having it. He filed a lawsuit yesterday to protect $4.9 billion in funding. And get this, he's calling the federal government discriminatory for stopping race-based programs.
Are you kidding me? These people have the gall to look at a parent and say that segregating children into affinity groups is progress, and then they sue when we say, hey, let's go back to merit. It's embarrassing.
It's $1 billion standoff, and I'm sitting here asking, why are they doing this? Why is California so obsessed with keeping these DEI offices open that they'd risk $5 billion of school lunch money and special ed funding?
Because it's their religion, Will. It's how they control the next generation. If they don't have the equity officers in the hallway, they can't make sure the kids are sufficiently ashamed of their country.
Right. They treat the classroom like a laboratory for social engineering. And now they're even trying to hide the curricula. We're seeing reports of secret policies to keep the federal auditors from seeing what's actually being taught in those inclusive seminars.
Oh, I believe it. They think they're the resistance, but really they're just the rent seekers clinging to a dying ideology.
Speaking of things that are dying, the cartels are finding out that the open border era is officially closed. Did you see what happened in El Paso over the weekend?
Oh, it was a literal light show. The FAA had to close the airspace over El Paso International and Fort Bliss because of an incursion of industrial-scale cartel drones. We're not talking about some kid's toy from the mall.
Right?
We're talking about massive, oops, I used the M word, significant drone fleets mapping our sensors. But Pete Hegseth, our Secretary of War, I love saying that, he and Son Duffy used military-grade lasers to just zoop, neutralize the threat.
Wait, neutralize? Is that the new word for melting their brains?
Basically. But Will, think about the data. 34,000 drone flights detected at the border in a single year, and the previous administration just let it happen.
Well, that's because the ruling class didn't see it as a threat. They saw it as unavoidable. But now we're seeing national defense realism in action. It's not just lasers, Diane. It's the Save America Act.
Uh-huh.
They're fighting tooth and nail in the courts to say that requiring proof of citizenship to vote is unconstitutional. I mean, really, if you don't have to be a citizen to vote, then what is the point of a border at all?
There isn't one. That's their goal. A borderless, meaningless world where everyone's a global citizen. But meanwhile, back in the real world, families are worried about their retirement.
And that's where I have to stop you because this common sense movement just took a turn that I am really struggling with.
Oh, here we go. What's bothering the populist prince now?
This 2026 Social Security shift, they're officially moving the retirement age to 69 for anyone born after 1970. And they're calling it sanity. But Diane, think about the guy working in a warehouse.
Well, honey, we have to be adults. The system is broke.
Broke because they spent it. They spent the money for forever wars and green subsidies. And now they're telling the guy who's been paying in for 30 years that he has to work 2 more? Why are the working class always the ones who have to be the adults while the elites keep their pensions?
I'm not saying it's fair, but look at the math. Social Security is a math problem, not a philosophy project. We have a declining birth rate and people are living longer. If we don't move the age, the whole thing collapses in 5 years.
So why not cut the waste elsewhere? Why not take that $1.5 trillion we're hoping to get from the maritime security fee and put it into the trust fund? Why is the answer always work longer and die sooner?
Oh, you're so dramatic. It's 2 years, and it's being phased in. It's better than the peanut butter raises we're seeing in the corporate world where nobody gets a merit bump and everyone gets the same tiny percentage regardless of how hard they work.
It's the same philosophy. Mediocrity for all. It's de-incentivizing hard work, and then we wonder why the economy feels stagnant for the average person. I mean, really.
Well, at least we're finally getting transparency in healthcare. CMS is actually making hospitals publish real price tags by April. No more estimates that end up being 3 times higher when the bill arrives.
I'll believe that when I see it. They'll find a way to hide the facility fee or the aspirin administration fee.
Not this time. Senator Roger Marshall has that Patients Deserve Price Tags Act. If they don't give you the price up front, they can't collect. That is common sense.
Okay, that I can get behind, but only because it puts the power back in the hands of the person actually paying the bill.
Exactly. Now, before we get into the main story today, we have to talk about the man who actually built the platform we're sitting on.
You're right. Real independence isn't free. This entire network, from this show to our flagship, The Neural Daily, exists because one man, Eric Christensen, decided to build it himself. He didn't ask for a government grant. He invested his own capital and technical expertise to architect a media platform that respects your intelligence. If you value that kind of meritocratic building, back it up. And don't limit yourself just to the politics. Get the full strategic picture by subscribing to the Neural Daily and the rest of the network. Support the builder, and you support the mission.
Support the builder. I love that, especially because the destroyers are having a really bad weekend. Did you see the Epstein files?
Oh, the DOJ letter. 6 pages that basically told us what we already knew. But the names, Diane, the politically exposed persons list.
300 names. 300! And it's not just the people you'd expect. It's cultural icons who are already gone. Princess Diana, Michael Jackson. But the living names are what should be causing a firestorm.
Right?
300! Trump, Bill Clinton, Prince Harry. The DOJ says their names being there doesn't prove interaction with Epstein, but in Europe they're actually making arrests. The former Prime Minister of Norway, Peter Mandelson in the UK. Why is the American response so muted?
Because the billionaire class in this country has a protective shell. They use burden of proof as a shield while they go after regular people for misinformation. I mean, really, we have 3.5 million pages of evidence and we're getting a 6-page summary. What are they hiding in the other 3 million pages?
They're hiding the truth of how the elites actually operate. They treat the world like their personal playground while they lecture us about polypharmacy in kids.
Oh, did you see the Obama thing, though? That was the ultimate distraction.
Oh, please. Aliens are real, but I haven't seen them. Honey, he's just trying to get some of that no-lie podcast traffic.
It's the galactic common sense check. He debunked Area 51, but then he says they're real because of the statistics. He's trying to sound smart without actually saying anything. Meanwhile, an Amazon van is literally stuck on a mudflat in Britain because the GPS told him it was a road.
That is the perfect metaphor for the ruling class. The computer says this is a highway, so I'm driving into the ocean. And they want us to trust them with our retirement? Give me a break.
And our defense. We're finally rebuilding the arsenal of democracy with this maritime action plan. 100 prosperity zones to build ships again. Because right now, we build less than 1% of the world's ships, while China builds everything.
Is that right? 1%? That's embarrassing. But the new strategy, national defense realism, it's moving away from nation building in the desert, then moving toward capturing cartel leaders and hardening the border. It's about time we prioritized our security instead of democracy building in places that don't want it.
It's peace through strength, not peace through checking account. I'm just cynical about whether the ruling class will actually let us become industrially independent again.
They won't have a choice because the people are finally seeing through the nonsense. And that brings us to the biggest pivot of the year.
You're talking about Hillary.
Oh, I am. Hillary Rodham Clinton, the woman who once said basket of deplorables, was at the Munich Security Conference this weekend, and she basically sounded like she'd been listening to this podcast.
No!
I'm serious. She said migration has gone too far, that it's been disruptive and destabilizing, and it needs to be fixed with secure borders.
What is going on here? Is she really trying to out-Trump Trump on the border?
It's the shadow primary for 2028, Will. The Democrats are in a total identity crisis. They lost the suburbs, they're losing the working class. So now they're sending out the old guard to give people permission to care about the border again.
But why should anyone believe her? She spent the last 8 years calling anyone who wanted a wall a xenophobe, and now she's worried about stability. They hate you, Diane. They only say this when they realize their power is slipping.
Exactly. She's trying to rehabilitate the Clinton-Obama legacy, saying they were more balanced. Please, they're the ones who paved the road for this mess. She's trying to provide a common-sense pivot for the 2028 moderates, but it's so performative, it's almost funny.
It's a total game of policy realism. They see the poll numbers on the border and they suddenly realize that open borders is an electoral suicide note. So Hillary goes to Munich to talk to the globalists and says, hey guys, we have to pretend to care about this or we'll never win again.
And she said it in the most humane way possible, of course. But look at the reaction from the progressive base. They're having a total meltdown. They feel betrayed, but the reality is the ingrates are finally losing their grip on the party's steering wheel.
It's a fracture, Diane. A deep, deep fracture. And while they're fighting over who can sound tougher on migration, the rest of us are just trying to survive the permanent outrage economy. Did you see that skier, Hunter Hess?
Oh, honey, yes. He's at the Winter Olympics, wearing the flag, and saying he doesn't represent everything going on in the U.S. because he's upset about ICE.
I mean, really? You're on the world stage, you've got the gold medal in your sights, and you're using your platform to complain about immigration enforcement? Why can't they just, stick to skiing?
Because for these people, everything is a canvas for their trauma. But when Trump calls him a real loser, the media acts like it's a national tragedy. No, it's just the reality check. If you don't like the flag, don't wear the uniform.
It's the erosion of sportsmanship. It's all performative politics now. But the good news is the people are exhausted by it. They just want common sense. They want their social security to be solvent. They want their kids to learn math instead of affinity. And they want the EPA to let them buy a truck that doesn't die at the light.
Well, we're getting there, one deregulatory action at a time. It's a marathon, not a sprint. But for the first time in a long time, I think we're actually winning.
I hope you're right, Diane, but I'm going to keep my fishing lure close and my eyes on those Epstein files because the ruling class isn't going to go away without a fight.
Oh, let them fight. I've got my Chardonnay and my cross. I'm ready for whatever they throw at us.
That's the spirit.
Well, that's our show for today. We covered the EPA's return to sanity, the billion-dollar school standoff, and why Hillary is suddenly sounding like she wants to build the wall herself.
What a world.
It's a crazy world, folks, but we're here to give you that daily dose of common sense. Stay strong, stay patriotic, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.
Think about it. Why are they doing this? Because they think you're not paying attention, but we are.
We sure are.